right, we are here with Chris Hamilton of the USDA. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you.
We're glad to have you here, and hoping to dig a little bit more into program from the USDA. Congressman Smith has announced it to us, and I know that that there's questions about how it all works, and we were talking beforehand. You're visiting uh, Glen Allen and all that. Can you tell us a little bit about the program, history of the program, um, and just an overview of how it works before we get into specifics?
Absolutely. I'm with USDA, the Natural Resources Conservation Service, or NRCS. I'm the program manager of the Emergency Watershed Protection Program. And that program has recently put out interim guidance in spring that gave guidance on potential for buyouts in flood-prone areas. And as we were discussing here, we recently had that flood event August 14th or so, and that we were contacted within a week or so after that. We have offices in basically every county of the state, so our local field offices went to the site to ascertain the situation, and we were contacted soon afterwards about the potential for this program and for the ability to offer buyouts for residents. And it is a voluntary program, and we have to have a sponsor, a local sponsor, to submit a request for this assistance for us to be able to move forward.
Okay. All right. And so, what does that look like as far as individual folks that are looking, for that sort of relief that may be looking to get out of Glen Allen? So is that an individual, kind of case by case thing that they apply for? What does that look like?
Absolutely. So the way it works is, as I indicated, there has to be a local sponsor, usually a
Okay.
government entity. In this case, Bollinger County Commission has stepped forward last week and submitted a formal request to NRCS, my agency, for this buyout program. And that, as I said, occurred last week, and we now have boots on the ground today. We have our staff in Glen Allen doing an assessment called a damage survey report. When they finish that report up, hopefully the goal is to have it done by the end of the month, end of September. We'll submit that to our national headquarters for potential funding of the program. Once we receive that funding, if we receive that funding, we can move forward with the sponsor and enter into a cooperative agreement with that sponsor. The sponsor is then responsible for moving forward with the project and working again with voluntary sellers to purchase the property and demolish the houses if necessary versus relocation, and then get them out of those flood-prone areas is the optimal opportunity there. And then there is a deed restriction put on the land in perpetuity to turn it into a green space, if you will, for parks and outdoor recreation, and maintained in such a way.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, very interesting to see then as well what happens after the fact. What happens with the property in terms of what do you do with an area that is flood prone, and so that is that's good to see. Yeah, as far as that goes, is this something that as you mentioned, this is something your department does. When it comes to the kind of overall structure as far as that goes, will it be the county that's in contact with individuals, buyers and sellers, or and is there, I imagine it involves a community sort of centered thing as opposed to, go to this location, go to this, call this number, that sort of thing. What is the exact, if you will, kind of means for getting a hold of that there?
Sure. So the sponsor would then be in charge of administering the program. NRCS would reimburse the sponsor both for their work with the local landowner that's interested in getting a buyout and selling the property. They would work with those landowners, and they would work with getting an appraisal on that property and paying for that property. And so once we get through this next step of doing the damage survey report, and once we have the funds committed from our national headquarters and we get to that step, then we can enter into that cooperative agreement with a sponsor, and then they can move forward with announcing the program, availability of the program, and working with those local landlords. Nothing stopping them from doing that now. In fact, they are, and so is the village of Glen Allen. They're doing the same thing, and we've already had a couple discussions with the local folks there about the program. So that's out there and being done, but that's how it would look. Again, it's the local sponsor that moves forward with this project.
All right. I think that that helps clear up a lot. Is there anything else that folks may need to know that maybe we didn't talk about yet?
No, I think that pretty much clears it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Great stuff. Chris Hamilton, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it quite a bit. Yeah.
Thank you, Clayton. Appreciate it.
All right. To our audience as well, thank you for being here with us. We hope you'll stick around. More coming up around the corner.